I used to be working for this big performing arts group called the Young Canadians, and they put on this $4 million show every year called the Grandstand Show. And it's part of the Calgary Stampede, which is one of the biggest stampedes in the world. And there's all these different departments. Acro department, we have jazz, ballet, tap, hip hop, vocal, acting. These kids had this amazing education. And I was in charge of the, back then, gymnastics department. And so my boss his name is Brian Foley. He's like the godfather of dance in Canada. He lived in Toronto, but was our boss in Calgary. And so he'd come back and forth and he'd bring in all the new stuff. And he said, we need to start this thing called Acro. And we're like, what's Acro? So he's trying to explain to us what it is. He's like, Melissa, I want you to teach Acro. It was my job to learn Acro. So I'm trying to teach it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just teaching gymnastics. So I was floundering. His Acro teacher at his studio, he hired her as a personal mentor, and she took me under her wing and taught me everything I needed to know one-on-one, and really showed me what true Acro dance was. It took me 3 years to cross over into Acro dance. And once I started teaching it, everybody started catching on, because the Young Canadians were this big group, and they do this $4 million show every year, choreographing dance steps to fireworks. Like, it's cool. It was a very cool experience to be a part of that. But local studio owners were seeing this Acro. I was the only one who taught Acro in Western Canada. Like, there was nobody doing this. And so then I was picking up jobs. This is pre-children. I was working at a few different studios. Then I started my family. It wasn't sustainable. And I said, I should just teach you guys how to do it. And that's when the syllabus was born, when it was like very at the beginning. So I just started putting on these workshops and teaching teachers. And with the Young Canadians, you know, Mr. Foley would have this big show and he'd be like, I need you to teach XYZ trick. Like, you got half an hour to make it happen. And I would have to find clever ways to figure out how to do tricks safely and learn them quickly, because we were under pressure for this huge show. And we'd have turnover every year because they auditioned to get in every year. I always had new kids, so I had to get good at creating systems to get results that were safe and fast. And so I started teaching my methods to local teachers, and that grew and grew and grew. It just got bigger and bigger. That was 10 years ago. And now the Acro Dance Teachers Association is what it is, and that's how it all started. So it was an evolution.